Hey everyone, thanks for joining me this evening. And we are good to go. Perfect. Hi everyone, thanks for joining me. Today we are carrying on with Let's Build an Online Store in Laravel. We're on episode 6. My god, I'm actually sticking to something. There's a first. So, today we are carrying on using TDD and event sourcing and all those buzzwords to finish off our cart functionality. Basically, we're going to be looking at managing the quantity within our cart, basically. Hey, Mark. Hey, Dan. Another Mark. Mark with a K and Mark with a C. Right, so where are we? Yeah, so last time we did a TDD approach to kind of adding products to our cart, and we did it in a very non-event sourced way at first, and that was on purpose. You know, that was meant to happen. I wanted to show how you build it up normally and how we can refactor to event sourcing and then change our tests to kind of show that that's how easy it is to add event sourcing. I probably didn't explain that very well, to be honest, because I was probably having a bit of a brain fart of a day. Hey Alex, and obviously I've got the Pest PHP website up because I'm going to need to use it at some point. You're Mark K, Mark Railton, and Mark Hampson is Mark C. Hey Bernard and Alex. So, oh look, jump 24. Where did that come from? That's what I did today. I had fun with that. I made a little background to make it look really cool on my screen, because I've got this screen. I've only got my 49-inch with the exact same image. You know, all in for the company branding. I'm a company now, man. Company man now. Right, so where are we? Here. So what are we doing? Feature cart. Let's just run our tests. We're still good. Let's just quickly do a composer update in case there's been... Ooh. I can't spell today. Udpate. It's just going to be one of those nights already. Yeah, just see if there's anything we need to update. No. Brain fart day. That's me. That's me last week as well. I just really just... Or was it Tuesday? I can't even remember. The days are just flying by. Right, let's just add these. And we just want to say that we are updating dependencies, basically. Where can we start? I've done one thing since you're up. Maybe two things since I was last on, and that was these. I watched... We had a slight clash with the the Jump 24 website is amazing. Has anybody seen it? Let's go have a look. It's just cool, isn't it? It's like you scroll through it and there's just look, little things happening, and there's just so much just catch your eye. It's just got, you know, lines going everywhere and stuff doing it's just amazing. We've got a blog where we do stuff benefiting your business. Clients, we work with lots of cool people. Yes, I've just started there. Well, starting on Monday, I think, isn't it? Starting on Monday. Can't wait. It's going to be really fun. I've been chatting to them in Slack. Some really cool people working there already. And obviously now they've got me, so their standards are obviously dropping. Now's the time to drop your CV. So... I watched where is it? Laravel Worldwide Meetup. I could propose a talk, events, this one. And Aaron obviously gave an absolutely fantastic talk on Sidecar and how that works with Lambda. And with some of the changes coming to Lambda, it's just going to be mind-blowing what you can do. Being able to add my Golang scripts or Node scripts or whatever scripts you need to from Lambda's perspective into my Laravel application and just sideload it through a Lambda. It's mind-blowing. And obviously Luke gave an amazing talk on pest perfection, which actually solved one of my problems with testing. So I'm really glad I kind of caught back up with that. Definitely check out this video if you can do. Stop showing me adverts. I'm just gonna drop this into the chat because this is. Go check out that at some. Not now because you're watching me. Make sure you watch me. But afterwards, go check out both of those talks. They are incredible. If you're interested in Lambda and serverless, then Aaron's talk will just blow your mind. If you want to learn more about pests and how to write pest tests really well, check out Luke's talk because that just, it's on another level. So we've got get here. So by default, we're overriding the parent get method. So all we're doing here, don't stop watching the stream, Alex. Come back. What we're doing here, value. This will just kind of evaluate it, and it'll allow us to pass through closures to here. Basically, that's all that this is doing. It's not doing anything else. So what it means I've been able to do is write a really nice high order one. Watch me, watch me. Yeah, I do sound like the kids. Pay attention to me, mummy. So yeah, look, we got really nice little tests going on. It works. Here's a cart. The only downside is I can't collapse the whole thing. I'll just have to put up with it. This one, I think you can tap into it. I could tap to get cart, but it's not going to add any benefit there. That's not going to add any benefit trying to get this to be higher order either. So I've not been able to make them all higher order tests, but I've managed to get a couple, which was cool. So our next step is basically, who sent it? Stop messaging me, wife. You know, you're on the stream. You know I'm busy. Right, our next step is to look at increasing and decreasing the stock quantity, or the quantity in the cart, really. Yeah, scaling. I've done some serverless work before, and the hardest part with serverless was how to approach managing your code. Especially in the early days when you had to upload a zip file or a compiled file up to AWS through their console. It was like, how am I meant to do this nicely? Where's my version control? And it just felt messy. It's obviously a lot better now, obviously. Right, so we want to be able to. Yeah, I've put Punk Rock Factory back on tonight. I went through my YouTube console and it gave me loads of warnings about you can never monetize these videos because you're playing songs, and it was like, well, never mind. Oops, I'm not trying to do it for money, so it's okay. So updating quantity. This is what we're going to work on next. This little one here, updating the quantity. So what we want to be able to do is say we want to be able to say it can increase the quantity of an item in the cart. And I'm going to start with a normal pest function and just refactor if I need to, because to be honest, I kind of need to do certain things like this, where I'm going to say let's create a cart, or maybe I could do like a cart item. I think I've got like an item here, so I could do like cart item. Yeah, I've got a factory, and I can just create one. That should work nicely. Why is my phone suddenly deciding to go mental? Oh. Stop it, quiet phone. So simplify that a bit. So if I'm just going to die and dump on this one quickly. I'm playing with warp again. They sent me a t-shirt? How cool is that? And a mug. That's in the kitchen. Had a cup of tea in it earlier and it needs a wash now. Code sites shop. Ooh. So we have got this. This is why I like Warp. Let me just not full screen. I don't really need full screen it, do I? It doesn't need to be that crazy. Right, here we go. So we've got a cart item now. ID, quantity, purchasable, cart ID. Cool. So we've got stuff. We've got something we can work with. Here's our cart. So yeah, I did a user interview with Warp. They their CEO reached out, and I had a chat with one of their advisors who is one of the Figma founders, and then I jumped on a chat with the CEO as well just to give a bit of feedback. Yeah, they sent me a t-shirt and a mug. I did it because I like the product, but hey ho. Right, so what we want to do now is we want to say that we want to expect our item cart. Tell you what, let's just die and dump on item cart and make sure we're getting everything we need. Coupon total reduction. We haven't got quantities in there, have we? Quantity is on here. Quantity, yeah. So factory create, and we want the quantity to be 1. So yeah, we got 1. Oh, not a Mac anymore. How could you not be on Mac anymore? I couldn't go back to using Windows. I really couldn't. Expect item quantity to equal 1. Yeah, that is basically. What did I just do? Basically, we want to just make sure that we've only got 1. Yeah, we're good so far. So now what we want to do, we want to do a patch request where the URI is going to be root. So we can just kind of grab this. It's going to be very similar. Just going to keep this consistent because other places we're just doing it this way so that we can load in the container basically. It would be interesting to attempt to PR the cart to a dataset provider, probably using. That would be super cool. Feel free, Samuel. I'd love to see that. So we're going to send a patch request where the URI is that, and the data is going to be the updated quantity, and we're just going to say we're going to make it 3. And we don't need to pass any headers, or we don't need to pass anything else. We're going to assert that the status why is that not? What's going on? Why is this all complaining? Ah, okay. Right, test case. Patch. So basically going to do the same thing. There. Just to make sure things are as we need it. Kind of. How are we looking? Okay, let's close that and open it again. Under the sea. It's pretty good, isn't it? So our URI wants to be API v1 carts products update. And it's complaining again, isn't it? Okay, for now I'm just gonna leave it be. And we want 3 as a quantity. And we're going to want to say we have accepted that request, basically. Missing a comma in the first param. Was I? Nope, we're good. I may have redone that. Right, so let's just run that. And we're failing because the route is not defined. So we can hit that first step by going, let's do that. Now we know that's going to fail because invalid route action, so let's make a controller, carts update controller. Okay, it was earlier. I'm okay with that then, Alex. Right, so this is now going to fail because wrong status code, which is fine, and required parameters. So this one. So we need to pass it some parameters, right? So cart is going to be item cart ID. Oh, actually, we need the cart, don't we? We want the UID. Oh, yeah. So we go cart UID, products cart item UID. And then we are going to have the cart item as item UID. So, perfect. So that means we can come over to here. Is this just Rock Disney? It's not Rock Disney, no. It is just the band themselves. They are just that cool. Let me open up Discord quickly. I'll send that over to you quickly. Discord is starting. Give me a few minutes. So this is going to accept 2 extra things. It'll have. Oh, here's Discord. Come on, Discord. Right. So I'm just going to stick it in general for now. Here we go. Let's make sure that's over there. There we go. Right, so this needs to accept a cart and a cart item. Doesn't really need to do the cart properly, but we're going to keep it like that for now. So got it a step further. So we also need to make a request, form request in here. Request API carts, product request. I don't want a product request. I want a cart products update request. So we're just going to rename this to update request. got that now. So that means we need to go through and do the validation, and the only thing we want to get through on here is quantity. This has to be required, must be an integer, and there's no min. No min, no max. Ah, you sent your CV through. Excellent, Dan. I would definitely look out for that one. Definitely going to look out for that. So, let's just run our test. That is fine. We've got that bit. So we've now passed validation. So what we need to do is say, okay, basically just update cart quantity or cart item quantity. But first we need to do a if the quantity less than or equals 0, then remove cart item. That's what we need, basically. That's what we need. No, yeah, I suppose we do need a min 0, don't we? Good shout there. Good shout there. So, let's run that. We're fine. And what we can do is if request get the quantity is equal to 0, then remove item. What can I do here? We do. I'm trying to think of a nicest way to do this without being an if-else. I mean, we'll start with an if-else and we'll refactor. Well, we'll see what we can do. If it's 0, then do this. Otherwise, do that. And then we're just going to return a new response where the content is null and the status is HTTP no content, or accepted, isn't it? We want to do accepted. Yeah, we're going to go through this part in a second. So I mean, this will now just pass. It shouldn't pass, but it's. I haven't finished the tests, so we got the first part to pass. What we can do is expect cart item find so it should be 4 now, right? So it starts with 1, we add 3, we're expecting 4. That's kind of what I want to do quickly. Yeah, I mean you can probably do some like front-end logic for that anyway, but I want to make sure that the API also accounts for that as well. It's nice to say I can leave that to the UI and say, you know, just let that part handle it, and the API can just be doing its own thing and just keep it relatively dumb. But if we can, I'd like to protect against it as well. So this is obviously going to fail. 1 does not equal 4. So what we need to do is, if it's 0, we're going to come back to. Otherwise, we're going to say, okay, so item update quantity to item quantity plus request get just for now. We're just going to keep it as this. That failed to certain that 1 equals. Wait a minute. I think I might know what's going on. Why is this not coming through as an int? It should be. Well, it should be coming through as an integer. So let's run it one more time. Cool. So update request, cart item don't need. So we need these. So if the request quantity is equal to 0, remove the item. Otherwise, do something else. There we go. So this is, it can increase the quantity of the item in the cart. Failed to certain that 1 is. So we're trying to update it, and why is it not updating? So if we just do a quick time dump. On what's going on? So it's currently got null apparently. Which is really strange. What is going on here? We've got some funny behaviour going on. Maybe that's all I need to do. Come up to here, so let's just why is it still coming back? Cart item ID 3. Yeah, so there's an item, there's a cart item. There's an item here. We've got the item. We expect the quantity to be 1, and that passes. We send a patch request with the data of quantity of 3 and assert the status is accepted. That passes. Then when we do this, yeah, they're both expecting UUID. UUIDs. And then we expect the item, we'll get a fresh item. That should, okay, so that'll get us a fresh version of that model. I don't know if it's because I'm using database, refresh database or what, but that should. ID. Total. Why is that coming back with a cart? That's coming back with a cart. Oh, it's relations. What was I thinking? Quantity. That's fine. Why is it writing it? It's a string. What is going on? What is going on here? Quantity needs to be. It doesn't have to be we expect, but I do get what you mean. This is starting to look ugly, isn't it? Yeah, something's going on here. Something. What it is, I'm not sure. Let's have a quick dive into it, shall we? So let's go to our cart items, unsigned integer. We're good on that one. The factory for the cart item. That's a number. That's fine. As expected. No seeders, no nothing else that's needed for that. So if we come down to our customer model cart, quantity, we shouldn't have to cast that to an int, to be honest. We really shouldn't have to cast that to an int. Okay, so only thing that I can think of right now is that our projector, cart item, query where first, retrieve, update, quantity, not that one. On product cart was added. Item create, so cart items create. Is creating a string? Maybe. Well, I shouldn't be doing this anyway. We shouldn't need to worry about that in theory. But we do really need to make sure that we have just one in there to start with when we add it to cart. Can we just use a factory? Standard factory. Update controller, cart test. Okay, so if we just remove that and create, do a patch request, and we want to say that we want actually just want the quantity to be 3. Let's see what happens. Refresh. So let's get cart item, query, find item ID, quantity, expect to equal, and what we're going to expect is that the item quantity plus 3. That's kind of what we're expecting behavior-wise, right? Ordinary. Is that what it is? Is it something really that simple? Have I just completely missed it today? So let me just undo changes on that test. Let's just take all this back. Where were we? Oh no, we just got a failure instead. So where are we failing? What have we got? Cart items. Forwards calls. That's gotta be. So if I just do a dime dump here on the item, I should have it, right? Yeah, we've got an empty item. We've got an item that does not exist. I'm just gonna test something. There it is, but for some reason that's still coming back as a string, which I don't get. Why is this coming back as a string? Yes, I am using an M1. Why is that a string? You're not meant to be a string. That's just silly. It's just telling me to disappear, isn't it? It's just saying, no thanks, Steve. Not interested. Yeah, what's going on? Oh, it's been turned into a string somewhere, and I can't figure out where. So we're just gonna say there's an item there. Let's just do this. Let's see what happens. So we're getting failure. Cool. This is where it's going to complain about something. Undefined variable, cart item. Cool. So we can just item. Oh, we're passing. Oddly. So if I do that, do we still pass? We do. So I have no idea what happened there. It's just what's happened. It could be SQLite and strings actually. I am using SQLite as a database on testing down here. Nope, package, wrong one. Memory SQLite. It could be. That is a good observation there, Samuel. Do I take over? So I can increase the quantity. Yeah, I don't know where that went. So I'm using in-memory SQLite, and for some reason it seems it is storing the int as a string. Don't know why. Everything else is trying to add it as an integer, have cast it as an integer. It's just saying, sorry Steve, Bye bye. But hey, it happens. So let's carry on. Right, so we can increase the quantity of a cart. We also want to make sure we can decrease, right? So it can decrease. And we're just going to swap. We're going to expect that to be that. Then we're going to say that we want to do we want to add or do we want to just set? No, that's what we need to do. We want to just set it to the new quantity. That's going to be the easiest way to do this. Is just to update it to the new quantity that we're passing through. So that when we increase or decrease, because it's just it's a patch request, we're just updating that one thing. We want to just give it the data that we want to replace. We don't want to try and do math. What was I thinking? Unless we're going to add an increase-decrease endpoint, then that might have been a bit silly. So we got 3, when we're expecting this to be 1. Right, now let's run the test. Now we can pass. Right, so that's working as expected. I mean, what I just did up here, that's going to fail because 3 doesn't equal 4. Because we're now doing I'm just going to give you what I want it to be. I've got to expect the same thing. So I'm just going to update that to 4. So there we go. So we can increase and decrease the quantity very basically. However, what we want to do, I'm just going to copy this test down because it's the same sort of test. It removes an item from the cart when the quantity is 0. So create one random item, we expect the quantity to be correct, and we're going to say, okay, 0. We accept that request, as we should, because we're just doing a patch request, and then we're going to say, we want to find this cart item. Yeah, I kind of don't. It's a feature test, not a unit test, so I am doing both because from a integration perspective, if I click the plus button, I want it to add. If I press the minus, I want it to decrease. So from a feature perspective, I do need the plus and the minus test done, kind of. So we want to expect so now we want to assert that the database is missing. The table is going to be cart items. The array of data. That maybe? So we hit the remove item. Cool. So if I just comment that out, and it passes. That ain't working. So our test obviously isn't working there. So what we want to do is is there deleted? Hey, I like that. Table, which is a model or a string. Set deleted item. That's much nicer, isn't it? Much nicer. So That fails. Failed asserting that array in the table can't items on ID of one. Cool. So now I can say item delete. And we're good to go. Passed. So we can increase, decrease, and remove if we're passing through a 0. Yeah, the new wallpaper is awesome. So what I did, I actually made 3 different wallpapers. One to fit the screen size resolution exactly for my massive one. One to fit the screen size exactly for my streaming screen, and then one to fit the new work MacBook Pro. So yeah, I've made 3 of them, all exactly the same. The placement of everything, all colours exactly the same, and it just looks cool. Not gonna lie, it looks pretty cool. Right, what do I need to do? We want to refactor, obviously. We definitely need to refactor, because this just, to start with, this isn't what we want it to do. We need to come back to aggregate, remove product, increase quantity, decrease quantity. Yeah, that's something I'm looking into now, actually, Dan. So what Dan said is, could you change to always update quantity and use an observer to delete when the quantity is 0? So basically what we'll do is just hide that logic away. So I agree completely that we need to hide the logic away, but we're doing event sourcing here. So what I want to do is control what events I'm actually triggering. So what this should look like, I'm just going to pseudocode it out here, is create cart aggregate if quantity is 0, trigger the remove product event. Otherwise, trigger the change quantity event. Or do we want to? Oh, no, that's not what we want to do, is it? Okay. I know what we want to do. So our aggregate is going to be our cart aggregate. We're going to retrieve the UUID we want to retrieve. Cart UUID. Then we're going to do. I'm going to do it in switch first because it makes more sense. So we're going to switch based on the request get quantity. So if the quantity is 0, then do this. If the quantity greater than or equal to the item quantity, then we want to do something else. basically what we want to do is just, we kind of want to do it, so we can't use match. Match, I believe you cannot do evaluations within a match statement. I could be completely wrong, but I was pretty sure you couldn't. So, what we're going to do is basically aggregate remove product, and the argument is purchasable ID is the item ID. The next is cart ID is going to be cart. Yeah, cart ID. I know what I'm doing. And the type is going to be no, not that. So at the minute we've only got variants being stored. So this for now is fine, but we're going to have to refactor. So the test will break later on, which I am fully expecting this code not to last forever. So in this case, we are going to say aggregate. We want to increase a quantity where the cart ID is cart ID. The quantity is quantity, and the cart item ID is item ID. Yeah, I'm not sure if you can use it. I'm definitely interested to see if you can. If you can use match, I'd definitely one for using the latest syntax. So then we can get an aggregate. We want to decrease the quantity now. I think so. We don't want that equals. So if it is greater than, then increase. If the quantity being passed through is less than the quantity, yeah, cool. So basically that again. Because we're doing because it's event sourced, Ben. Let me sort those arguments. So good. That's a good question. No need for two cases with it just being set to quantity X. So we're moving this to event sourcing. So the idea here is that instead of just updating the quantity and just keeping it flat, we want to say if it's been increased or decreased. We could emit an event and say, quantity was changed, but that's over the period of time. It'll be nice to see that, with certain products, people add them to the cart, but they add too many and then have to remove them. Maybe it'll just be nice to see that sort of thing. So, people keep could that be a UX issue? Are they adding too many to their cart? Are they removing them by accident? You can start to get insights like that. So what we also need to do is persist. We can persist in each one of these because only one of these should be fired. We don't need a default, so we should be able to do that. Now I'm expecting these tests to now fail because we've moved to event sourcing, so things should happen in the background instead. So we're not going to see that things have been deleted. However, this should be the only test there. So query have count, eloquent query to have count. So let's do this way. So some of these we're expecting to fail. So I'm just going to do this last one first because I know how I can deal with that really quickly. So instead of saying assert deleted, we're going to assert that the product was removed from cart is now in the database. Ooh. Failed. So the actual thing was product was removed. So decrease cart quantity. So let's go have a look what's happening there. So when we say sort those arguments, remove a product, product was removed from cart. That is what we should be triggering right there. So if the quantity is equal to 0, which on this very last one it is, so if we're removing, we should now see bye bye. Apparently we're not. Apparently that's not even being considered. So we'll just keep playing. Remove product, persist. Yes, that should be fine. Let's just keep going. So what we want to do here is we also want to just say that we're expecting these not to have anything. So at this point we're expecting, you know, no stored events basically, and then by the end of it, instead of expecting an amount, we are going to be expecting to see a let's go see the event name. Increase cart quantity. And instead of that, we should expect to see a decrease cart quantity. Right, so what are we getting? Ooh, we're getting some messy mess. Right, what's going on? We're still getting 3 failures. Decrease cart quantity. It's almost like it's doing it backwards. No, I am listening to. Let me. It's not Punk Pop Factory, but it's very, very close. Punk Rock Factory. An amazing band that live literally not too far from me. They're doing a gig in Birmingham, by the way. Go check them out. They do just loads of cool covers. A huge fan. There we go. Let's put that one on. We'll mix it up a little bit. I'm taking requests. Yeah, I never enjoyed Let It Go before I heard that version either. I'm not gonna lie. Oh, you did actually mean okay, I'll let you off. These things happen. These things happen. Typos are so easy. Right, so what do I need to do? I think I know what's going on. I think I was silly. So it removes the item from the cart. Is it when the blah blah blah? So why am I getting a product was removed from? Oh wait. We should be hitting this. So if quantity equals 0, but the item quantity there, it seems to be trying to decrease a quantity. when... Okay, so when we're decreasing, we want it to be that, but also we want the quantity to be greater than 0. It's still telling me to go away. Now we're trying to increase the cart quantity. See, this... I shouldn't have to go this far. This just seems silly, right? So something... Right, let's just do this. Let's get the quantity. Four. See, we're getting it there. You know what? I think you might actually be right there. Was I going just too far, trying to be clever, and it just bit me in... Yep, it bit me in the ass. Trying to be clever. Jesus, Steve, stop trying to be clever. Yeah. Does anyone else want to take over? So we can increase, we can decrease quantity. However, we are still very static on certain parts at the moment. What are we returning? We're returning just a standard response, aren't we? So this bit's fine. However, what we need to do is we need to... I don't like having this logic in my controller. I hate it with a passion. Because if I now move over to doing a... This is for an API. If we do a web controller, I've got to do the same thing. If I do CLI command, it's going to have to be the same thing. That's not what I want to do. So this is where we move over to action classes. So customer actions. We got add product to cart. We need an action for change cart quantity, like what you mentioned earlier, Mark, and we can just add this. So here we go. So let's do a quick public static function handle, because we handle actions. Pretty sure we don't want to return value on this specific one. So what we want to do, we kind of want to just take all of this and stick that in there. Instead of using a request, we want to say change cart quantity handle. What we need to pass through is the cart. So cart item and an integer, which is going to default to 0. So by default we're going to remove, what am I on about, integer, quantity. There we go. So we can now remove that, and that all works perfectly as expected. So update controller, the handle method. Now we need a cart, which is our cart, an item, which is our item, and a quantity, which is request get quantity. And suddenly we're much cleaner. And we're still passing green. And that works perfectly. It doesn't need a return. It's just do this action and return. You know, handle it. Because the idea here from an API perspective is if I was to build this with Nuxt or Next or any of those, I'd mutate my local state when I'm clicking these buttons. I'd say, right, I want to add, so locally increase it, but asynchronously call the API. And if that API response fails, just undo what I just did. Kind of the way you want to handle those situations. And now we've got a nice little change cart quantity, which handles all the aggregate, handles everything. It just does what you need. What we do kind of want is we want to add a remove product from cart action as well. So we're going to make it remove product from cart. Not needed right now, but we're going to add it. Public static function handle. And it's going to do that basically. So we're just going to get this. So aggregate, what we want is we want the cart. We know we're going to want the cart. Then we're going to want to get the item as well. Which is going to be an eloquent model. I'm just going to call it item for now. Don't want to return from there. So we can just say cart aggregate retrieve remove product where the purchasable ID is item ID and the cart ID is the cart ID and the type is the get class for the item. I'm hoping that doesn't come through wrong and just default to model, but yeah, then we can persist that too. Now I can replace switch with early returns. I could, but I don't need to return from here. I've got a return going there. We handle one action and just return. So aggregates. Aggregates are it's hard to explain. It's probably been explained better by other people before. So I am going to go to the sparsely Laravel event sourcing because I'm pretty sure they had a really nice explanation on what aggregates are. An aggregate is a class that decides to record events based on past events. To know more about the general purpose and idea behind them, read this section on using aggregates to make decisions based on the past. So, oh, that is a very good point there, Dan. I forgot about that feature. Here is a link, by the way, for this part here for writing your first aggregate. Yeah, the people at Sparsely, they explain things really well. So go have a read of that if you want to understand what aggregates are in more detail. I'm just going to have a look at that. That looks like a cool idea. So I can just do item class, right? Oh, I can. Oh, that's nice. Oh, that is nice. Everything's still passing. I'm happy. This is good. I'm pretty sure PHP 8 match single conditional expression. Oh no, you can. I think you can do conditional expressions. Can I? Apparently I can. Let's try it. Let's refactor that part. So currently, our tests are passing. Let's try and refactor this. So what we want to do is, actually, I'm going to go one better, and I'm going to start Docker in the background. And we're going to see if workbench by shift is going to handle this specific case. Because I've spoken about it before and gone through what I do with it. But we'll see. Let's see if it works. Docker engine is still... Why is Docker so slow to do anything? Come on. Workbench. It's over here. Right, here's workbench coming in now. So, build toggle editor mode. I don't want that. I want switch to match. Let's see what happens when I run it. I know there's an update. I didn't do that last time. If this works, I'll do an update. If not, I'll cry. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a picture because I'm in a group chat with JMac and I'm going to show him it works. Or I've been saying about how I'm going to use it on stream, so here we go. So, showing off workbench on stream. Here we go. Docker slow equals, yeah, that's so true. And no, it didn't. It ignored it. Don't know why. So I'll manually try it. So we want to match quantity. I forgot the syntax now. Yeah, it's kind of the same. It's exactly the same. It's just nicer. So if 0, then we are going to basically just that, right? But we do a comma instead. So now I can something like that. It's gonna look a bit ugly, isn't it? Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Is this gonna work? Condition is never matched. We're just gonna keep. We'll see. We'll run it. We're gonna run it. We're gonna brave it. What's the worst that's gonna happen? Our tests fail and we have to undo what we just did. That's about the worst of it, right? Ah, come on. That would have been much nicer. Shame. Shame, shame, shame. Well, we tried. Match true. Oh, okay, I get what you mean. So quantity. Oh, wait a minute. So you want to say match true. There. So you're saying that, right? Oh no, it worked. It works. Match true. So I get what's going on there. So yeah, it feels hacky. It definitely feels hacky. Don't delete. It's just a switch statement, right? Let me format that. I quite like that. I do like that. It's nice. It works. It works. So that is good. We don't need that anymore. What else could we test with this? I mean, I've only been going for an hour and 15, and you know, things are just looking good. Let's quickly format our code because we like it. We like running Workbench. It's fun. There we go. Code formatted. So, item class. I didn't do that in the match. I thought I did. I didn't, did I? Good eyes. Good eyes, that person. Hey, J-Mac. You just missed it. You literally just missed it. We were talking about Workbench because it's awesome. Property promotion, null safe operator. What could we do? I know. Here's a quick example. So here we go. I can just quickly drop these type hints, which is going to make me cry. I know it's going to make me cry, but we're just going to do it. What have we got? Convert each, destructuring, removing doc blocks. No, not that one. Type hints. Run. Here we go. Here we go. Are we going to get there? Yeah, you definitely had the right idea. Don't worry. Yeah. Ooh, moment of truth. If anything breaks, it's probably because I need to update it. We'll say that. And look at that. Oh, looking good. Now we can just quickly simplify those and we're done. How nice is that? It didn't pick up on this. This is the only thing, J-Mac, it didn't pick up on. But probably because we're doing the match true or switch true hack. Because we're trying to evaluate this before figuring out which aggregate method to call, basically. But testing wise, it works perfectly as well. So all we need now is Freak to come in and to see that we're using his package, and it works really well. So that is increasing quantity, decreasing quantity. Now we need to work on this removing an item as well. So here is our next test down here. So we want to do it can remove an item from the cart. So what we need to again create a cart item. Quantity irrelevant at this stage. And what we want to do is we want to do a delete request to API v1 carts products delete. And the two arguments that we know we're going to have to pass for the cart is going to be item cart UID and the item itself, which is going to be just the items UID. And then we're going to assert that the status is HTTP accepted. I think that's probably going to be the best bet for status codes. No problem, Mark. Thanks for tuning in, buddy. I will catch you tomorrow. Hope you're doing okay. Catch you in a bit. Updating Laravel is one thing. Type annotations. Yeah, so some of the black magic that Workbench does is just absolutely crazy. It just works, and it just saved me so much time so far. I just can't stress enough how awesome it is. So we want the delete controller, don't we? So as usual, we will start with a normal approach, and then we will refactor this to be event sourced. So one, you can see the difference, but also because we want to make sure our logic works before we start adding the complexity of event sourcing. So cool, that is fine. Missing parameter cart item. We're just going to swap that through the item like we did on the other ones. Just click through to there quickly. So what we want to do is we need the cart, then we want the cart item for the item. This is going to return a response. So now that error is going to disappear. We're getting something else. Invoke return value must be. We'll fix that one up. So basically what we need to do here is just say item delete, and then we can just return a new response, and the content is null, and the status is we've accepted that request, basically. I mean, you could do like a no content there, or you could do something like that. And there we go. But what we want to do, we need to extend this, and we also need to say, like we did beforehand, we want to assert deleted item. So that item is deleted. That is what we want to do to start with. So to start now, what we want to do, we want to say this is where we're going to refactor to event sourcing. We're going to expect that the have no stored events from our event sourcing, and then we are going to say, okay, instead of asserting it's been deleted, we want to make sure that we've got one event after we've called this endpoint, and that event is going to be the product was removed. Exactly the same as decreasing the quantity and it being 0, it then removes it. We want to make sure that it still works. So this will fail now, which is fine, we expect that. But what we now need to do is literally call the remove product from cart, which we did earlier. Handle. The cart that we're going to use is, here's our cart. The item is the item. And that's it. Done. And all that is doing is getting that aggregate, calling remove product, and we're done. That's all we had to do. Our delete controller is now super clean, super nice. You can make this even smaller if you didn't want to adopt named arguments. You know, you could quite simply do that, and instead of doing this, you could simply do return response helper null for the first part, and 204 there, and 202, not no content, my bad. And we could trim that down real easily, but I like to do named arguments because they look nice. It's a new feature. I like them. I'm going to stick with them. And there we go. So what we'll quickly do is going to commit most of this. Status, git add. We're going to do a git quick commit and say that we are cart item quantity and cart item removal, as well as workbench task running. Right, so what else do we need? Could we run to make this cool? Common helpers, model table name. We don't need many of these right now. Streamline order methods. Haven't got any order methods going on at the minute. Fluent responses. Fluent routes. I'm pretty sure that won't work, but most of it's already working. Yeah, response no. I like to kind of declare and build up the class. I don't know if it's just me. I'm just really picky with it. I like it to be I'm returning a new class. I mean, the way I see it is that the helper's just newing up the class, so I'm just kind of I'm saving like the smallest amount of possible time just by newing up the class. Bad habits. Naughty Steve. So we just ran the fluent routes. So we're just doing a quick workbench, fluent routes. Let's quickly push that one up. So a lot of stuff's already working now. Yeah, of course I can, Nunu. It's yeah, I'll drop that over. Not a problem. So cart. That kind of all I expected to do today. What we did last time was we added products to our cart. We can now add a product, remove a product, increase and decrease a quantity. I suppose we could look at adding a coupon to the cart and see how that's going to work from an effect perspective. Creating a cart, getting our cart, adding a product. Coupons, that's kind of like our next logical step, right? So next step is add a product, add a coupon, coupon to our cart. So this is going to be a post request to our cart endpoint, coupons. Just doing a simple kind of coupons store. So we kind of need to follow our naming convention that we have been doing. So carts, almost did cats, coupons, and we want a store controller. So all we need to do quickly is let's just create that one. Make controller, instead of products, we're just going to do coupons. And we'll just do a quick store controller. There we go. So yeah. What are we on about in chat here? Are we on about blueprint or are we on about the workbench? Because the workbench is just it's too cheap. As soon as I found out how little it cost, I was like, how can you afford to not charge more? I'm just going to quickly drop Nunu that DM, otherwise I will forget. Here you go. It's not a playlist, it's a artist. Just listen to literally all of their music. Right, so here we go. So let's look at our tests. What do we need to test when it comes to our cart? Pricing is hard. Building a product's hard, but then you got to come up with how you want to charge for it, and that's if you think coming up with a name and then actually having the time and effort to build the product is hard, then you got to figure out how you're going to charge for it and make the charging actually make sense. It's mental. So it can apply a coupon to the cart. So this one's going to be quite a simple test. Yeah, no, I am a huge fan of this. The flip side of you use PHP. Yeah, I started learning PHP in the era of, well, if you're using PHP, you should give away your stuff, and it's kind of stuck with me, which is what got me into open source. It's helped in the long run, but it's still hard. Like, justifying how much you should charge for things is always hard. So we need a cart. So let's create a quick cart. So let's get our factory. Just going to create that quickly. And what we want to do is we want to send a post request off to can't put this one here. So the URI is going to be there. I don't need any headers, don't need any, no, I do need data, definitely going to want data. So the code I want to send across, I want to create a coupon as well. So let's just grab the factory and do that. And we're just going to say coupon code. Assert status HTTP. We're going to accept that basically. We're not creating anything. We're literally just accepting, saying yeah, cool. We are pretty happy there. So we're missing parameters. Good place to start. So let's come up here and let's say cart next. What are we failing on? Missing required parameter. So we haven't actually added that parameter to here. So we can quite simply just do a cart UUID because there's only one. We don't actually have to pass it in as an array. So the next step is the status code. So now what we want to do, now that we know that parts of it is working, we want to carry on with our testing. So before we do all of this, we expect, let's go to the cart factory a minute, the database one, the coupon use, total and reduction. We're going to say we need to create a state here, don't we? Really? I think. Do we need to create a state? You know what? What we're going to do, we're not going to worry about state. We're going to say coupon is by default null, and the reduction by default is 0. We're going to this is our default state, and we'll worry about states on factories later on, because what we want to do, we want to be able to pass in later on and say something. Cool. Yeah, that's what I'm expecting. That's what I want to do. So I want our cart, expect cart reduction to equal 0. So early on, bail out otherwise. There we go. So that's good. We can now do that, and then we want to, later on, we want to expect, we're going to get that cart again. So we're going to do a cart, we're going to do a quick query, and we want to do find on the cart ID, because we may as well grab the same cart. We're pretty much going to do the I always spell reduction wrong. Why do I always spell reduction wrong? Every single time. We want the reduction to equal the coupon reduction. That is what should happen. Our cart has 0 reduction on the total. We add our coupon. We expect if we get a new version of our cart, the reduction to be equal to the coupon's reduction. That is what we're expecting. Obviously we're failing at this point, so let's start getting some of this to pass, shall we? So we can make a request, cart coupon store request. Coupons store request. Let's check that naming. Yeah. Store request. So what we can do now is we can swap that for a store request. And we can drop out the illuminate one. Come over to here. Switch this over to true. And all we want to do is all we expect on this endpoint is for the coupon or code. In theory, we're passing over the code, the coupon's code, so we will do code. So our code is required, stringable, and we expect it to exist. It exists in coupons under code. So we passed validation there. So if we come back to our cart test here, code must be a string. Cool. Select code is invalid. Because we're passing through the coupon code, it works. So our store controller, so now we're here, we can say we want to say cart update. Then we're going to return a new response. This is where I'm not, because it's performing actions, and a lot of these actions are going to be done in the background. I'm just going to be doing a lot of empty responses. Most of the time when I'm building APIs, if I have an API where I'm trying to scale, I start to push a lot of things to background jobs, and with those background jobs, it means that I can't return a response body easily a lot of the time. So I can just do standard status codes of, yep, I'm creating that, or I've accepted that. I'm going to handle it basically. So this is why I do a lot of empty responses, with status codes being the key logic here. And our status is going to be HTTP accepted. We want to update this and we want the reduction to be we need to get the coupon, don't we? Coupon query, not where. We don't really need to do a first or fail, but I'm going to do it anyway. You know, if let's say in a split second it gets between the validation and doing this, that we suddenly stop using that coupon, we want to be able to fail and not allow them to use it, really. So where the column, the code is request get code. That's what we need. Request get code, and then the reduction is coupon reduction, and the coupon is going to be the coupon code. And that, in theory, should be fine. That passes. So on our cart test over here, we've got reduction to equal that, but we're also expecting the cart coupon to equal coupon code, and we're good. We, yeah, the reduction might be the same, but is coupon correct? So now we've got that check in there too. Looking good. We are getting there. So next steps. That is hour and 42 minutes. Our next step is to quickly event source this, I suppose. Which means that that's going to have to be an event. Which means up here we're going to have to do basically this again. This is how we kind of... I'm repeating the same sort of process. I'm wondering... I'll speak to Luke Downing or Nuno. Is there a way I can bundle this and this into part of my test using pest? It would be nice if I could. It'd be like expect, it's going to expect an increase in this event, basically. So you can see, okay, starts at 0, here's 1, or might have 1, now it's 2. So check that the numbers increased and that the latest one is the right class. So in theory you could do query latest first. Definitely something I'll look into. I mean, obviously at the minute that's going to fail. It's going to fail hard. And we obviously need to remove that. Unfortunately. It's a shame. So, yes. Oh, you're still here. Cool. You need to extend the expectation API. I will make a post-it note and I'm going to have a look at how I can do that, because that would be super handy for testing event-sourced applications, I think. Right, so let's come over to not app. We're coming down to source. We are on the customer domain, our aggregates. We're still on our cart. So what we want to do is want to add a public function. Apply coupon. Yeah, no problems, Alex. Thanks very much for coming, buddy, and I will catch you on Discord sometime. So we're going to quickly apply a coupon, and what we need the int for the cart ID, and we want the integer or the code. The string for the coupon code, basically. And we'll return ourselves as we usually do. We'll return this. Return this. So this is where we're going to say this. Record that. The domain event that we are triggering is a new coupon was applied. and that is going to accept again probably much the same, cart ID and cart ID, and then code and code. So all I need to do is quickly create that. So down in events, we're going to create a new PHP class. We're going to extend should be stored. Simplify, clean this up. So we'll quickly create a constructor, and we're going to have a public integer for the cart ID and a public string for the code. So all we need to store is that information there. Here's our cart aggregate. So now we can import that. But what we also need is on our projector down here, we want to do a public function on coupon was applied. Event. We're not going to return anything. On coupon was applied. What we want to do is we want to get the cart. So what do we really want to do here? We want to basically supply the coupon, right? So we want to cart query where the ID is the event cart ID. We want to update it, and what we want to update on the cart is we want to say that the coupon let's get the coupon here. We're going to quickly create a query where the code is the event code, and first where the coupon is coupon code. Oh, yeah, update. That takes an array. What am I doing? I'm doing the complete wrong thing here. Here we go. So we want the coupon to be coupon code, and we want the reduction, did it again, to be coupon reduction there. That's all we need. So cart test, cool. So that's all expected there. Here's our cart test. We're going to go to this store controller here. So instead of updating it here, what we're going to do, we're going to get the cart aggregate. We're going to retrieve where the UUID is the cart UUID. Apply the coupon where the cart ID is the cart ID, and the code is the coupon code. Persist it. And that's it. That's all we need to do here. So now we're still failing. So product was removed from cart. Why is it? Okay, I know why. Wait a minute. Coupon was applied. There we go. We got there. We got there in the end. So that's just under 2 hours, and we've managed to do increase quantity, decrease quantity, removing a product from the cart, removing a product from the cart if we're trying to increase the quantity to 0, and applying a coupon. more than what I expected. So I'm quite impressed. I'm quite impressed what we got managed to get done in one day here. So let's add a new page. And what day is it? Thursday. No, so episode 7 isn't till next Thursday. Breaking test left and right. Yeah, just test, right? Cheers out. Cheers, Jason. Go enjoy your dinner. Peace out. Yeah, so breaking tests. You got to break tests to make them work, right? You got to make sure things are working as expected. So in our next episode, not on Tuesday because that's going to coincide with the Nuxt.js 3 launch, which is on Tuesday. No, it's not. Am I ahead of myself? I am ahead of myself. Ooh, that makes me wonder. This one. Oh, no, I'm fine. So this one is on Tuesday. This is on Tuesday. Ignore what I just said. So in this episode, we've done all the applying. We've done applying a coupon. We've done increase, decrease, remove. Next, we're going to look at removing a coupon and maybe payments. We could look at. No, we still need to add user details. You have to log in at some point. That's fine. So in the next episode, we are going to look at removing a coupon. We're also going to look at, be quiet Google, removing a coupon. We'll also look at doing adding shipping info, adding billing info, maybe payments if we have time. Maybe we will. Maybe we won't. Hopefully we will. So let's quickly add our icon, and there we go. And then also after we've done that, we're definitely going to be focusing on payments and shipping. But we also need to get back to looking at products and categories and bundles, and there's so much we haven't done. But for now, we're going to focus on the cart because we want to make money. It's an online store, right? So that is our tests, all looking good. We can commit all of this. We're still going to stay on feature cart because we've not finished the cart yet. So this is applying a coupon to our cart. Let's just quickly push that one up. Workbench has already been finished, which means I can quit Docker Desktop and I can regain half of my CPU availability. Tests are passing. We've got 12 passes, so we can create a cart value object. You can store an event for adding a product, and for the cart we've got all of this. Example, I'm going to remove that example tab. Why is that still in there? Tests. It receives a HTML on the home page. Oh, wait, let's rename it. Refactor, rename. Not example test, we're going to call it page test. There we go. Get add. Commit. Renaming a silly test name. There we go. So, as usual, information in the description below. There is still the code available for 10% off for Scotland PHP, which is coming up in a few weeks still. Use it. It's going to be a great event. There's going to be some really good talks on there. Otherwise, there's a link for Discord. Join me on Discord. I'm always online. Yeah, it's kind of what I do. Live online. Other than that, see you on Twitter, see you on Discord, or see you on Tuesday. Have a great weekend. Like, comment, subscribe, let me know your thoughts so I can start to fine-tune some of the content to make sure you are happy, as well as I am entertaining you in some way or other. Maybe I'll learn to juggle for the next one while my tests are passing. We'll see. But I'm going to go spend a little bit of time with my wife before we settle in for the evening. And good night. Have a good weekend, and I'll see you online.